Welcome to Category 5 Technology TV, episode number 436 for Tuesday, the 26th of January, 2016. Say hi to Jeff Weston.
Hello, Jeff Weston.
Mango Fox 70 is around here somewhere as well. She's sticking out her tongue at you. What's that about? I don't know. She's monitoring the chat room, making sure everybody stays in line. Don't forget to check out her show, The Pixel Shadow. Tonight, we've got quite the show for you.
Oh, buddy.
Quite the show indeed. Oh, by the way, yeah, I forgot to mention, I'm Robbie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm your host and interim camera operator as well. Whoa!
That was a quick transition.
I know.
Like ninja reflexes.
How does he do that? It's like
Wild.
I actually moved so quickly. I ran over to the camera, zoomed in, ran back again.
Do I have to give you another pen award for pulling this off?
You could have done better. Jeff, what do we got coming up tonight?
Okay, well, we're still celebrating 20 years of the GNU image manipulation program, GIMP. So we're going to be taking a look at that tonight and making some people fly.
You brought a picture of your son.
I did bring a picture of my son. We're going to make them all superhero-ish.
Nice.
Which is kind of fun.
Very cool. Looking forward to doing that.
Yeah, and what else?
We were totally going to work on the Raspberry Pi tonight.
Right.
Totally going to. But instead, we are going to tell you what not to do in order to avoid bricking your Pi. And also, we're going to look at some LED light bulbs and how those are going to save you a ton of cash.
Big money.
And now they're in even more form factors. I'm excited about that. We're going to talk about it, but you can get bulbs for all kinds of appliances now, which is exciting. Also,
so I can get a bulb in my stove now?
I don't know about inside the stove, but the above the stove.
The above part, okay.
Light. Yeah, definitely those ones. Because you wouldn't want to melt an LED.
No, that's fair.
It's not quite like a filament. We are also going to learn how you are using technology to lose weight, stay healthy. I'm excited to learn about that. I've been working on the same stuff, so you want to stick around and learn about what Jeff is up to.
Or down to. What I'm down to.
Yeah, well, that's right. Nice twist.
Yeah.
Nice twist. What's coming up in the newsroom, Jeff?
Well, coming up in the newsroom, I have to switch over to that.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, Jake. Just throwing me
By
on the
way,
bus there. It's all good.
I know.
Thanks. Well,
Jeff.
Here's what's coming up.
It's the next thing on the list.
You expect me to be able to read?
I sure hope so.
Okay. Here's what's coming up
in the newsroom.
This is what I have to put up with.
I know.
This is horrible. Yeah. All right. And I volunteer for this abuse. All right, here's what's coming up in the Category 5.tv newsroom. Some VTech Learning Lodge applications are back online following November's hack attack, which exposed millions of children's personal information. Nest, the thermostats, they've been leaking users' zip codes, raising real concerns over Internet of Things developers and how they're approaching security. Also, it's been found that media devices sold to several government offices have hidden backdoor functions that enable some sniffing. Now, this one blew my mind. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Crazy stuff. Okay, Google, they're going to be paying £130 million in back taxes in Britain, and a new fan-made Half-Life game, yes, is due to be released to Steam in February. And last but not least, remember that dad whose son ran off the Xbox bill for more than $8,000? Well, we've got an update for you tonight. Stick around, the full details are coming up later in the show.
This is Category 5 Technology TV. Starring Sasha Dermatis, Hillary Rumble, Eric Kidd, and your host, Robbie Ferguson.
This is Category 5 Technology TV. Welcome to the show. It's episode number 436.
Good for you for your counting abilities.
I've been counting for 436 weeks.
That's a long time.
It's a long time to do this every single Tuesday night.
But it's all for you.
Some of you have been around almost as long as me, and I appreciate that. That's pretty cool. Some of you have even discovered the show, say in the past year, and then gone back on our Roku channel to season 1, season 2, season 3. We call those the webcam era.
That's right.
Yeah, the
primitive stuff.
The 4:3 SD, 640 by 480. When we upgrade, by the time we were really doing it.
Those were the fun days. I mean, it's still fun now, but it was fun then.
Oh yeah, well yeah, and we're getting back to our roots. I think a lot, getting more into the casual atmosphere that it was back then. You were on episode number 9, so viewers who have been around for a long time remember you from
wee
from
little
then.
lad.
Yeah, sitting on the basement couch in my house.
Yes,
and just chatting about fundraising software.
It was good.
Yeah,
good times.
Yeah, and here we are. Now we're in 1080p. Can't believe that.
1080p.
Yeah.
Love it.
Next up, I was talking to Garby in the chat room, and he's working on our new API that's coming soon. And one of the things that we're having to factor for is, okay, now we're not 720p, we're 1080p and 720p, because we offer both. And then, okay, well, should we be future ready? Because we'll probably progress as technology progresses. And, once you've got that 300-inch 8K TV, you probably will want us to be in at least 2K. So...
You know what's interesting about that? In my former life, in careers, I used to install some satellites. I walked into a guy's house who was a sales agent for Samsung, I believe.
Oh, okay.
The
so
guy
had like the bleeding edge stuff at the time.
120-inch TV. We're
120
talking 120 inch. We're talking 9 years ago.
What was it? Was it plasma or something?
It was. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a plasma.
Wow.
It was insane. I walk in, I'm like,
That's
what
nutty.
is this? The guy goes, well, I'm a high up sales agent for Samsung, and I get all the technology.
That's
advance.
that he would have been kicking himself 2 weeks later when projectors came out.
Yeah, probably. But oh, buddy, I drooled at that install. It was amazing.
Wow.
It was so cool.
What are you watching the show on? We just for the first.
I'm watching it in my eyes.
Well, yeah. It's like 3D to Jeff. Jeff's watching in 3D. Ooh. Wow. We've got a 55-inch TV at home, and we've got a Roku, I think it's a Roku 2 2015 edition that we're running it on. So it has 1080p output. It's brilliant for watching our shows. Seeing Category 5 on a 55-inch TV, of course, then you realize, you know what, maybe we could do with that 1080p upgrade.
Absolutely.
So hopefully you're taking advantage of that upgrade and enjoying it. One of the ways that you can help us to continue to upgrade is to become a patron. Head on over to patreon.com/category5. All it takes is as little as 25 cents per episode. If you can do more than that, then please, by all means, do. Everything helps, and there's power in numbers. So if there were enough people all giving $1 an episode, then we'd have all the bills paid right then and there, and we'd be able to do more upgrades. And it would be nice to be able to get into the 2K and 4K camera realm. You know that we upgraded our cameras to 1080p DSLRs. We had a fundraiser and we raised money to get new cameras, and we wanted to go to 4K, but we ended up going with 2 1080p cameras because that's what the budget was. That's how much we were able to raise. It was either one 4K camera or 2 1080p cameras, and be able to do more with those. So the cameras look great. You can see the picture looks great tonight.
You look great, Robbie.
Thanks, man. But what would be advantageous about going to 2K or 4K is that we can then see, this is all digital zoom. So we're zooming in on a 1080p, actually a 1080i source, and moving around on that canvas. It's a brilliant way to do broadcasting. But if you had a 4K canvas, you could zoom in on many other spots. And you see this, CES had one of the new live stream devices. They're actually using that technology as if it's a new thing. Right. They're promoting this camera that's a 4K camera, and it can zoom in just like we already have been doing for the past 5 years, and then some. So it's not a new way of doing things. What we have been doing is using a 1080p source and zooming into 720p. Well, now we're a 1080p show, so our canvas we're zooming in on, but the quality from this lens is so great that we can do that and get away with it. Upgrading to 4K, you can do more. But that said, please do support Category 5. It's a great network to be a part of, and we are all volunteers. The first 100 people who contribute 25 cents or more are going to be entered to win 2 teeny drones. And you've seen them on the show, but they are so much fun. Jeff has got one.
I do.
And you've been flying around and getting some practice there.
Scaring my dog half to death.
Yeah. I love just being able to fly indoors or out. Right now at this time of year, it's nice to be able to fly inside.
Yes.
But this is a good way to learn how to fly a quadcopter too, so that when you want to get the $500 quadcopter or the $2,000 quadcopter, you've already learned to fly on something that costs $60 or $70,
right?
And you're not worried about crashing it quite as much, and they're quite durable. But we would like to send you 2 of those so that you can race a friend. So that's patreon.com/category5. Speaking of our Roku channel, it's been growing. The Pixel Shadow, as I mentioned at the top of the show, is Mango Fox 70's show, and it's been going great. 5 episodes have gone out already, and it's a weekly show. Happens every Sunday morning. Yeah,
that's exciting.
We shoot every Tuesday, and then it goes out on Sundays. So last weekend was the build battle, our first build battle, and we're learning as we go. This is our first gaming show, so things like this coming weekend, you're going to see that we actually have a second camera angle in the game. So what we did is we set up a second computer, and then that one I fly around and film the action kind of thing. So when we do build battles and things, we'll be able to actually see the various users or players in the game. So D. Kelly 810 was in there this past weekend.
Yep.
And D. Kelly, what we will do is be able to actually see you a little bit more, so it's not all from Mango Fox 70's perspective. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So check those things out. Those are all on Roku and as well on our Kodi channel, which you can get. Join us in the chat room. We'll get the link, but go over to github.com/cat5tv to get your hands on that.
Indeed.
Okay. All right. What are you folks watching the show on? 43-inch LED from LG. That is what F. King is watching us on. Mm-hmm. So we're basically life-size. My shiny head is kind of filling up your living room.
My less
Thanks
than
for having us
face.
here. Thanks for having us here. Who else is in the chat room? Nice to see you. Rev D. Jenk is watching via Chromecast, so streaming it from one of his other devices to the TV, and it's a 37-inch LCD. So how do we look today in 1080p? That's what we want to know. And I'm kind of trying to scroll up in the chat room here, so sorry if I missed you. I know I should watch a little more closely.
You're busy doing a show.
I know. I'm like talking blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
So what's new, Jeff?
Not much. Losing some weight, but we'll talk about that a little bit later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've been doing the same.
Yes.
A little different, though. I'm not using tech. I'm using brains and a little less of the mouth.
Well, that's
But
fair.
I'd like to learn about how you're using tech to do this.
It's a life changer, let me tell you. I've been trying to lose weight for years. This one, mind blown.
Cool.
It's like a mic drop moment.
Just like that.
Just like
Our mic drops here are pretty lame.
That's right. That was just pure awesome right there.
That is some good TV, folks. R.D. Blair just saw that on a 47-inch LG. Seems LG is a popular brand among our viewers
You know,
tonight.
I've got LG at home.
Lyndon's got a 32-inch with the Roku and enjoying the show live.
Excellent.
You've got an LG? Ours is an RCA.
Okay.
And RCA is like, it's hit or miss, I think, but we've had pretty good luck with them. We've got one upstairs. We had like a 37-inch and decided, you know what, let's just do it. It was like a Boxing Week special, and we had some Christmas money, and so we thought, okay, let's get a bigger TV for when we're watching shows and stuff like that. And it's been really nice.
Yeah.
If you're a mother or a father, it's nice to have something in the basement where I know it sounds crazy, but it's really nice to get away from the noise and
it is.
Not just for us, don't get me wrong, but for the kids.
Yes,
because
that's
when you're
true.
trying to watch a show and you can't hear the show, you're tempted to say, "Hey, kids, keep it down." They're having fun. They're and it's a hard thing.
I can only handle so much glitter force on YouTube.
Glitter Force.
Oh yeah, it's like, I don't know, something my daughter's into. It's like Sailor,
okay,
Sailor
good.
Moon meets
I'm glad you mentioned
sparkles
your
and
daughter
puppies
was
and
into it.
kitties. Sometimes I just need to pull out like
Had he just left it at,
Big Bang Theory or something.
I can only watch so much Glitter Force.
That's right. Right up there with Teletubbies.
Tally, what's the big ones that you're into? We've got Dan TDM, which is all kind of Good Mythical Morning, of course.
Sorry,
Great show. Good Mythical Morning with Rhett and Link. These are a couple of young guys that have done some broadcast TV for years, and then they started up their YouTube channel years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And they do spoofs. They do a talk show once a week. Is it, Tally? And
No, every day.
every day. Oh, right, because it's Good Mythical Morning.
Right.
So every weekday, I guess. But it's a lot of fun. They do goofy stuff.
Well, that's cool.
And they do music videos, which are, it's family-friendly stuff. And that's kind of what we're about, is making sure
Absolutely.
that everything's clean and family safe.
So no Game of Thrones for the kids then.
You got to watch that stuff.
It's
not
true.
not watch that stuff. Watch what they watch.
Be aware of.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah, it's hard sometimes, you know?
It's true.
All right, can we talk about LED bulbs?
I would love to.
I know that this is
Illuminate
a
me.
silly little thing. Yeah, he's been waiting on that. I can tell. I've been okay. When CFLs came out, I went around the house and started upgrading everything to CFLs. These are the fluorescent curly bulbs, right?
Yes, which I hate.
Then my first one exploded.
Yes, that's
and
why I hate them.
That's when it actually sparked, burnt the roof around the lighting fixture and left an awful smell. Plus, they've got mercury. They're bad for the environment. They're hard to get rid of in a environmentally sound way. I think we have one or two shops in Barrie, like a city of 140, 150,000 people, where you can drop off CFL bulbs for safe recycle. Right. So they're not really friendly to the user either. And when they catch fire, it's nasty and dangerous,
To say the least.
So I got rid of all the CFLs in the house for various reasons. That's part of it. And we started switching to LEDs as they started getting better and better. But it's still all just the replacement for the standard incandescent bulbs. There weren't a lot of options originally as to color frequency, and things like that are important. My daughter got a lamp for her bedroom for Christmas from us. And one of the things that I wanted to be sure of is that the color frequency wasn't anywhere over, say, 3600 Kelvin. Okay? Because as you get into the higher light spectrum, there's a lot of blue light, and that is actually going to, it stimulates, and it causes you to wake up. So if you're reading in bed and you've got a 6000 K light bulb, which a lot of LEDs are going to be, they're like bright sunlight bulbs, then it's going to affect your sleep. You're going to have really a lot of trouble getting to sleep. So making sure that, now LED bulbs are available in various color frequencies, and they have been for a while, but the price has dropped,
Which is huge.
substantially. So now it's getting exciting because the form factors are changing. We're starting to see, as I mentioned, we have a microwave above our stove. Don't get me into microwaves. I use it to heat up my plate.
Okay.
That's it.
I pop popcorn.
I don't even pop popcorn. I have a pot on my stove that is there 24/7
For popcorn.
to pop popcorn.
That's awesome.
The microwave is literally for heating up plates. But below the microwave is where the fan is and the light to illuminate the range. That light, because of the microwave, people opening and closing the door. Other people in the house use it more than I do. The filament breaks all the time. So there are times when every 2 weeks I'm replacing that stupid bulb. And it's like, who cares? It's like $3 or $4 each time, but
still,
it's a pain in the butt. And I'd rather it be LED, something that's not going to be affected by that vibration, and that's going to be much more economical as well. Interesting fact is that because of the kitchen light, we don't want to have to, you come down in the middle of the night, you're not going to turn on the big kitchen light. You've got the stove light is basically the kitchen's night light. So we leave that on a lot. So LEDs have an advantage as well, that they are cheaper to run. Exponentially. We're talking 90% cheaper than an incandescent bulb for the same amount of illumination.
I am all for 90% cost savings.
Yeah. So all that to say, now the form factors of the bulbs themselves are changing. You're able to get those bulbs. I'm not sure what the base is called, but they're narrow, kind of elongated. They're not the big round incandescent style bulbs. So that's good. So we're gonna put those in. But we've got bathroom fixtures that use the G9 base, which are halogen.
Yep.
They generate a lot of heat. They're quite sensitive to, like, if you touch them with your bare fingers, you get oil on the bulb, and then it burns the bulb out prematurely, and then you've got to replace it sooner. And they're hot. They use a lot of electricity. They're super bright. Not really sure what frequency they are, probably in the 4,000 K range or so. But now LED bulbs are coming out from companies like Leorix. And so I picked up some of these to take a look. We've got G4 bulbs, which are 12 volt. These guys will work in your kitchen, like under your kitchen cabinets. A lot of them use G4 bulbs, things like that. The 12 volt stuff.
Okay.
So, and this is also, they'd also be a lot of fun for, if you want to do some soldering jobs, you want to make something that is going to use LEDs. I thought, maybe I'll put some LEDs on the shelf back here or something like that.
Sure.
12 volt are perfect for that. But then we've got the 120 volt G9 base bulbs. So these ones are a little bit different. I'll show you what the original bulb looked like. So I actually changed one tonight just to see how it worked. And so these are, I don't know if you can see that very well, and I do have a second camera here. So this is the G9 base. I'm going to fire up this camera so that we can get a closer look.
Big 10-4.
There we go. So, hey, that's the G9 bulb that came out of my fixture. All right. Let's get a nice focus there. There we go. So you've probably seen these before, just a standard halogen, and this one is burned out. So we can replace those now with with these guys. And these are 90% less electricity used. Let's just show you the bulb. So there you have it. It has LEDs coming out the wazoo there. There you go. And that's the G9 base as well. So the one thing to note about this as you go onto our Amazon portal and purchase these for yourself is that they are a little bit longer than your standard G9 base bulbs. So if your fixture is, say it's an enclosure where your bulb sits in it, you want to make sure that it's going to fit.
Yeah.
So hopefully that gives you enough of a clear representation. I would say from this bulb to that bulb, we're looking at another centimeter.
Yeah.
Maybe a little, maybe almost 2 centimeters longer. I'll move my finger. Oh, my fingernail's dirty.
The things you learn live on TV.
I know, live on TV. I'm like, well, look at that. That's terrible.
55-inch LED dirty fingernail.
Yeah. How did you like that? So these things are pretty great. I'm pleased with that. I put it in my bathroom at the house, just so that I could show you, because I didn't want to just, show you a product and say, hey, go buy this. Did you
clean the bathroom before you took a photo?
I just put in the bulb and changed the bulb. I was doing pretty good there. So guess which one is incandescent, and guess which one is my new LED. Any guesses in the chat room? Which one looks to be about 6,000 K? That nice sunlight kind of bulb. That would be the one on the left. So that's the LED, and the one on the right is the original incandescent. So you can see how the color tones are so much different.
Very different.
And the advantage to having the white light, and think about the bathroom. What do you maybe Becca's doing makeup or other things like that. The white light makes a huge difference.
Yes.
If you've got a yellow or green hue to your light, it really affects what you're seeing in the mirror. So it's really, really nice to be able to get a 6,000 to 6,500 K bulb. And these run, it's about $25, and you get a pack. Not to put prices out there because it varies depending on where you're buying from and everything. But you get a pack of 5. And so that's gonna take care of you. The bulbs are also, now I wanted some lower color frequency. So they also come in 3,000 to 3,500 K.
Okay.
Same base. They're still just the G9 base, but you can change the bulbs based on where they're located. So bathroom you might want a nice bright light.
Right.
Whereas powder room, you might want something that's a little bit lower on the color frequency. So there's a bit of a softer white. So cool. That's really that's really it. Quick facts about these bulbs. These particular ones, I'm showing you the Leorix brand, and did some research, and from what I can find, these are really the best quality that you're going to find on the market. And it's a reasonably new market as far as what's available on the different form factors. It has the ceramic base, so it's
very solid.
They're solid. It's got the ceramic base, so it absorbs the heat a lot better than the plastic base bulbs that are out there. So that's one of the things too, is that they generate a lot less heat. I mentioned halogens, which these replace. They generate a lot of heat. These do not. So that's kind of a bonus as well. The color rendering is good, as I mentioned, and because they only use 5 watts of electricity, you're talking if you run this 10 hours a day, you're only using 18 kilowatts in a year.
Wow.
If you run it every single day. So that's me with the lamp over the stove, for example. So look at your base on your bulbs, and if you've got some G9s out that you want to replace with LEDs, then these are the ones that I would recommend. Becca also has a desk lamp. That has the halogens. So as soon as that burns out, we're going to be putting one of these in as well.
Cool.
So what we can do, so I'll show you how you can actually find these. We are partnered with Amazon, so a really great way to support Category 5 TV, and we appreciate everyone who does this. It's a really, really simple, easy step. There's 2 things that you can do. I'm going to show you. I'm just going to hop on over to amazon.ca, and you can go to .com, .co.uk, .whatever, and in your search, just type Leorix and then G9 LED. That's going to give you all the different varieties. So copy the link to your clipboard, and then head on over to our website, category5.tv. And from there, so now that you've got that link in your clipboard, go support us, and then partner affiliate links. That's going to bring up our partners. Find Amazon, and you'll see one called the Link Generator. And you go there. And then because we've got this link in our clipboard, we paste that in, hit convert to affiliate link. And I mean, how long does that take? Now we've got a new generated link. We click on that. We're back at our product, add it to our cart, place the order, and you've therefore supported Category 5 TV during your purchase. And that, again, works on .com, .co.uk. Who have we got? .ca, .com, .co.uk, .de, .es, .fr, .it. And that will expand as the years go on as well. So as that partnership expands. So thank you to everybody who does support us by shopping through our partners. We appreciate that very, very much. And it actually makes a huge difference. So thank you. And do check out these bulbs.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So do we talk weight loss or do we talk bricking?
You know what? We're going to talk about both of those things in just a couple of minutes' time. But before we get into it, now, are you ready to do the news? Like, do I need to give you a bit more of a heads up? Look at that. He alt-tabbed it, folks.
I'm pro. I am pro.
You just knew that I was going to throw it over to you because you looked at your list.
I did. I read this time.
Yeah. Good job.
I read good.
Yeah. A little gooder than last time.
A little bit gooder.
A little bit gooder. All right, Jeff Weston over in the newsroom, man.
All right, it's Tuesday, January 26, 2016, and here are the stories we're covering this week. Some VTech Learning Lodge applications are back online following November's hack attack, which exposed millions of children's personal information. Nest's thermostats have been leaking users' VIP codes, raising real concerns over Internet of Things developers and how they're approaching security. It's also been found that media devices sold to several government offices have hidden back doors with sniffing functions. And Google is going to be paying £130 million in back taxes in Britain. An independent Half-Life game has been approved by Valve. Yes. And it's coming soon. And it's written by a guy who quit his job to create the game. That's dedication. And remember that dad whose son ran up the Xbox bill for more than $8,000? We've got an update on that story tonight. And these stories are coming right up, so don't go away.
You've got mad skills. Now hone them. Learn new skills or improve your existing ones with online video tutorials and training from lynda.com through our special link at cat5.tv/lynda. Learn software, technology, creative, and business skills you can use today to help you achieve your professional goals. Join today and start learning. We'll give you this chance to try it absolutely free with unlimited access to all of the courses. Sign up now for free, cat5.tv/lynda.
I'm Jeff Weston, and here are the stories we're covering from the Category 5.tv newsroom. Children's toy firm VTech has reopened key functions of its Learning Lodge gateway for the first time since it was hacked in November 2015. The online service as a portal for customers to download games, ebooks, other content on VTech devices. They can now register, manage their accounts, and use the App Store, but some of the products, including the Power Extra laptop and Eno TV, remain offline. Almost 6.4 million children's details were exposed by a hacker, and of those products which remain offline, they include Secret Safe Diary Selfie, which is so ironic that it was hacked and released, Snuggle and Sleep Musical Sheep, and MobiGo Touch Learning System. Alan Wong is VTech's chairman and the group chief executive, and he said in a statement, "After the cyber attack, we have focused on further strengthening security around our user registration information and other services within Learning Lodge." Mr. Wong goes on to warn customers that they need to update their Learning Lodge password as soon as possible. VTech has now confirmed that the data accessed by the hacker include children's names, dates of birth, and gender, as well as the name, email address, encrypted password, secret question, and answer for password retrieval, IP address, mailing address, and download history of the account holder.
Wow.
And as I'm reading this, I'm starting to think I need to check that out because I'm pretty sure we had the VTech product from our kids from a few years
Did you
ago.
have that crazy selfie thing?
I did not have the selfie. We had, I don't know, they were like a little handheld device. I forget what they're called.
And you had to register for it?
Yeah, because you could download games, so...
That's a scary thing. And do you allow your kids to enter their real private information online?
Well, that's the funny thing is I don't remember registering anything about my kids other than a profile that just had their name.
Right.
But all of my information was on there.
Sure.
So, I don't know, maybe people think I'm a kid. I act like it sometimes, but I don't know. Still, I'm thinking I gotta go check this out. But it's interesting. If I was part of that, I didn't get an email letting me know. So maybe I'm safe.
This is your note. This is your notice. You're watching Category 5, and
Thank
now
you,
you know.
VTech.
Change your password.
That's right. I can't use that generic God that people used to use in the 80s for password. Or
Password
money.
123.
Password 123. Oh, there goes my email password.
You know what really infuriates me about this is that I was really hoping to use an InnoTab 3S personally.
The pink
and
one?
Now, yeah, the pink one. And now I just don't know if I can trust it.
Well, maybe we'll find something for you to use. All right.
Ba-dum-ba.
Nest Labs hope to spark an Internet of Things revolution with the introduction of the Nest Learning Thermostat. And after all, many homeowners had never encountered a thermostat that was so adept at maintaining heat-cooling levels using a bevy of sensors and software magic while shutting off when you left the room and turning back on when you returned. And while no one expects that a Nest thermostat should be locked down for security purposes, maybe like a cell phone would be, you would at least assume that it wouldn't leak out personal information of the homeowners. However, two researchers from Princeton Center of Information Technology Policy, PhD student Sarth Hack Grover and fellow Roya Ensif, I botched that one.
Yeah,
somehow.
sorry about that. I could have just said the
two
the folks from the school.
Yeah. You like
PhD students.
This is like an ongoing thing. He throws these really difficult things to say in the news
'cause he's
just to
noob.
trip me up. And the chat room loves it. They're
It's
like,
how I can.
"Yes, he
It's
messed
how I
up."
can tell if you practiced.
Yeah, there was no practicing. This is au natural news, right?
There you
here.
go. This is it, folks.
Right.
Just throwing them into it.
Anyway, those guys that I can't pronounce discovered that Nest thermostats were actually putting out the home zip code and as a result of the closest weather station of its users. Nest acknowledged that this was a bug in its thermostat software and was not an intentional act. Google quickly fixed the issue. While something as insidious as a zip code is relatively harmless in the grand scheme of things, compared to like VTech releasing all of your kids' information, the lax programming could lead to even more serious privacy leaks. The Internet of Things represents just another attack vector for malicious parties to track your every move, and even when you think you're safe and secure in your own home. It's up to tech companies to secure customer data, and from the look of things, they still have a long way to go. And it's interesting. I was chatting with a friend of mine yesterday in a coffee shop, and he's like, "Oh, dude, I've got this Nest thermostat. I love it. It's great. Talked all about it." I'm thinking, hey, this is kind of cool. I might have to check that out. And now I'm finding out that everybody knows where he lives.
Yeah. I think there's this. I think that's an interesting point that you make. That really companies, if you're going to make this stuff connected, you got to think about security.
Absolutely.
And maybe regular encryption is not good enough. Like, this stuff should not be leaked.
Well, it's funny because going into the next news story, it just intensifies that need for proper security. And as we go with everything digital, there's more and more opportunities for the really smart hackers and crackers and all those people with malicious intent to gather this information. And unless you're the best of the best of the best, chances are somebody's going to find a way around it. You know, so companies need to wise up and not just put out this product, which is
it can't be an
totally
afterthought.
cool.
It can't be an afterthought. I mean, that should not happen. And maybe the zip codes, as you say, are not, that narrows things down pretty close.
But still, I mean, if it monitors when you go and all that kind of stuff, maybe there's some way that by using your zip code, they can find, oh, there's only 3 users in this area, get the IP, suddenly they find out, oh, you're not home, boom, digital home invasions. I don't know, maybe that's a stretch, maybe it's not. But still, and with that thought in mind, the next story.
Oh.
A company that supplies audiovisual and building control equipment to the U.S. Army, the White House, and other security-conscious organizations built a deliberately concealed backdoor into dozens of its products that could possibly be used to hack or spy on users. This is what security researchers have said. Oh, we're talking about this one. Members of Austria-based security firm SEC Consult said that they discovered a backdoor after analyzing the AMX NX 1200. It's a programmable device used to control AV and building systems. The researchers first became suspicious after encountering a function called Set Up Subtle User Account. Not a subtle name.
Yeah.
Which is ironic.
Well.
Anyway, so this account, it added a highly privileged account with a hard-coded password to the list of users authorized to log in. Unlike most of the other accounts, this one had the ability to capture the data packets that were flowing between the device and the network it was connected to. And the researcher said someone with knowledge of the backdoor could completely reconfigure and take over the device, and due to the highest privileges, also start sniffing attacks from within the network segment.
Okay, hold on. Let's be clear about this. These are benign multimedia devices. So
Yes.
music players.
Right.
Things like that are connected to government networks
Yes.
and can sniff the data being passed through those networks.
Yes. Let me continue, and then we're
Carry
getting
on.
back to this, because
Okay.
this is like, yeah, right up my alley. Anyway, the Telltale function not only equips the account with packet sniffing capabilities, it also contains code that prevents it from displaying when a list of valid usernames is enumerated. Like, talk about, hey, I'm here, but you can't find me coding. So when SEC Consult informed AMX officials of the backdoor last March, we're going 2015, like a year ago, the equipment maker responded 7 months later with an update that it claimed fixed the problem. But in fact, according to SEC Console, the update merely changed the username assigned to the backdoor from Black Widow to I am Batman.
Wow.
Yeah.
These guys are great at obfuscation.
It's incredible.
I'm going to hack a bank and use a program called Hack a Bank.
And yeah.
And they'll never figure it out because I am Batman.
Anyway, so they changed the username, but the backdoor account and the capabilities built into it were all there. They remained. So AMX has since released a statement claiming that the accounts were used for diagnostics and maintenance for computer support of technical issues. Okay, I'm a huge Tom Clancy fan. I read his books, love the military stuff.
I play the games.
I do play the games. I just finished reading Threat Vector, which came out in 2009.
You can buy that through our Amazon link.
It's true.
It's true.
But the whole premise of the Threat Vector plotline
Yeah.
is that China created a uploadable virus, so to speak, to benign media devices, i.e.
Okay.
USB, whatever.
Could be a good example would be your home router.
Yeah, exactly. And what would happen is it embedded in the actual code, like the ones and zeros of the device, that allowed it to connect to the servers in the Chinese government, which then
This is fiction.
This is fiction.
Yeah.
But it then gave them access to the computer. Like, they broke into the NSA, they broke into the CIA, they got everything. Whatever people did on the computer, they found out, and they used it to manipulate them into working for the Chinese government to sell secrets. This is the plot line. I'm reading this news story going,
By contrast to that fictional story, the news story this evening is nonfiction.
yeah, actually
This is
happened.
real life.
But that was a plot line in a book, 2009.
Yeah.
And now we're hearing about it in actual news in 2016. I'm going,
So chicken and egg.
Exactly.
Did somebody read that book and get a great idea?
I don't know.
and say-
but the fact is, it's here.
I know. I'm Batman.
Watch out for Bruce Wayne. But this is serious stuff. It
Yeah, for sure.
absolutely blows my mind.
That's frightening.
All right, I'm going to calm down now. I'm going to have an aneurysm.
Yeah, you cool? Yeah,
Anyway.
don't do that. Not today.
Yeah. All right. Google has agreed to pay 139 million pounds in back taxes after an open audit of its accounts by the UK tax authorities. The payment covers money owed since 2005 and follows a 6-year inquiry by Her Majesty's Revenue and Customs. And Google is one of several multinational companies to have been accused of avoiding tax in spite of making billions of pounds of sales in Britain. Senior figures at the U.S. research giant said it would follow new rules, which would see it pay more taxes in the future.
Okay. I don't want to talk too much about tax evasion, but billions of pounds in revenue,
And they didn't pay taxes.
and they didn't pay taxes, but now they're making good by paying 130 million pounds?
Yes. I don't know. Maybe it was a settlement.
Maybe.
You know,
Because
50 cents on the dollar.
That doesn't sound... I pay 13% for everything I buy. That's Canada for you, eh? But hey...
Maple syrup and poutine.
Yeah, on a plus side, we have maple syrup 24/7,
Pretty much, yeah.
365.
That's true. It's good life.
We don't have to pay for health care.
Yep.
We can walk into a hospital and just have a baby.
It's,
Well, we can't. Canada's not that weird.
although it has been done. But that's a whole other news story.
In the news this week, I heard it on the Category 5.tv newsroom, so it must be true.
All right. A new fan-made Half-Life game is due to be released on Steam next month. I'm excited about this.
Yes.
Prospect is made by a 25-year-old indie developer, Richard Seabrook. I can pronounce that name. Anyway, who 2 years ago decided to quit his job and make the game as a job application. And Valve, the company behind Half-Life, has given Seabrook approval to use graphics and assets from Half-Life 2. And while the game's not an official Half-Life title, it has been approved by the company.
Nice.
2 weeks ago, we reported a story about Pembroke, Ontario father whose 17-year-old son ran up an Xbox bill totaling over $8,000. And now, Microsoft has given him a refund for the full amount. Which is
What?
Yeah. So Lance Perkins...
Good on ya, Microsoft.
I know. Lance Perkins said he was stunned to discover charges on his credit card bill in December and criticized the company for what he called a misleading business scheme. Perkins complained to Microsoft, and the company agreed to look into the charges. He says Microsoft initially told him it couldn't refund the money. But when the company learned Perkins' son was a minor, it agreed to refund the full amount of $8,206.43. And in a statement, Microsoft responded by saying, Microsoft may occasionally choose to provide a one-time refund in cases of minors making purchases without parental permission. They also made it clear, though, that those refunds are for a very small number of users in exceptional cases, and it will only be granted once in a lifetime. Perkins is surprised by Microsoft's response and hopes that his story will help protect other parents and warn them how online gaming bills can add up. Big thanks this week to S.R. Wences and R.W. Nash and our community of viewers for submitting stories to us. If you found a news story you'd like to send, email it to newsroom@category5.tv. For all your tech news with a slight Linux bias, visit category5.tv newsroom at newsroom.category5.tv. For the Category5.tv newsroom, I'm Jeff Weston.
Thank you, Jeff. This is Category 5 Technology TV. Welcome to the show. You'll find us online at www.category5.tv. All right. Can I learn about what you're doing?
Yes.
What I'm doing to lose weight is strictly dietary and working out, and really it's about not eating when I'm not hungry. And I've lost a lot of weight that way.
I'm doing the exact same thing.
Yeah.
But I've tried that in the past and failed horribly.
And is that just because of a lack of self-discipline, or
Yes.
too many goodies in the cupboard?
No, it's lack of self-discipline, and I got caught up in the ideas that, if you're going to lose weight, you got to eat healthy and you got to cut out the bad stuff and all these.
Really? See, that's not what I'm doing.
That's
tonight,
what I tried
tonight for dinner. Tally, what are we having for supper?
KFC.
Fried chicken from Kentucky.
Finger licking good.
And I can do that
Yes.
because I'm not overeating, and I'm not overeating during the day.
Right.
I'm eating a lot more fruit. I'm drinking a lot more water, and I'm being very conscious that, okay, once I'm full, I just stop eating.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to go back for a second plate of something.
Totally fair.
Okay.
So you've got self-control. I don't.
Okay. I think I've developed it. You know,
Potentially.
I was blimping there for a while.
You know what? It was just the wide angle on the TV.
That's all it was.
Yeah, that's right.
It was stretched because the cameras were no good.
That's right. But no, I had the same issue. I don't have very good self-control. I mean, I'm one of those people that it comes up on Easter and my diet consists of mini eggs. So, you know, and I look at it and I go, hey, there's color here. There's got to be something nutritional about the colors. And that's my rationale. But then I wonder.
It's a green M&M.
It's like broccoli. It should work. But it
Brussels
doesn't.
sprouts.
It doesn't. So, but anyway, no. What happened is I decided I need to get some assistance. You know, I can't do it myself.
Yeah.
Mentally, I have a hard time with it. And so I went out and I bought a watch, one of the tech watches. Everybody's going on about the Fitbits.
Yeah, I've heard of Fitbit. Sasha uses the Fitbit, and she stands by it.
I really didn't feel like spending $250 for a Fitbit.
Is the cost? Okay.
Yeah. So I picked up a watch from Garmin for $50.
$50.
$50.
$50.
It's the Garmin VivoFit. Now it's about a year and a half old, I believe.
Okay. So is this yesterday's model, or is it?
It's kind of
Like, did you
yesterday's.
get it as a deal because it was an older
Well, just
one,
they're coming
or-
out with the new brands,
Okay.
and so the prices drop. It's just like anytime
Gotcha.
there's a new version.
Right.
So I was able to pick it up for $50. But what I love about it is that it's still relevant and current. I mean, tech changes so quickly, but in this case, it's still relevant. And what's nice about it is it's got your step meter and all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. But unlike some of the other watches, unlike some of the other watches, this one isn't USB plug-in that needs to be charged. It works off a battery watch. I'm good for about a year.
Oh, okay.
So I never.
Well, that's handy.
Yeah, I never have to plug this thing in.
How does it sync?
By
it
Bluetooth.
Bluetooth? Okay.
It's a Bluetooth sync.
Yep.
And so it syncs up to my smartphone.
It's a very small amount of data too, right?
Oh.
When it comes down to packets.
Yeah, nothing.
Can we? I've got this camera here,
Yeah.
so that we can get a little bit of a close up. Since I'm off in camera here, there it is. So this is called the Garmin Fit
Yeah, I'll try and turn it so you.
or Vivo Fit.
Yeah, the Vivo
Okay, cool.
Fit. So right now I've got it on the time, and by the way, I like the 24-hour clock, so that's why it's 1950.
It looks different than a standard LED. It has a bit of almost like that e-paper.
Well, and that's it. It doesn't have a backlight, so it doesn't glow in the night, which is nice when I'm trying to
Okay.
sleep.
Yeah.
But you'll notice that it had that red bar at the top.
Sure.
What I like about this watch is that red bar tells me get moving.
Oh, you've been sitting too long.
I've been sitting too long.
Oh,
So the long
kind of like how the
that thing that does that thing,
yeah. Where did it go? Oh, there it is.
like
Oula.
your smart water.
Yeah, we have the Oula smart
Right.
water thing.
Same
So it
deal.
reminds me that, okay, it's time to drink water.
That's right. Same deal with this. So if whenever I've done something, it gives me an hour, and then says you
Okay.
need to start moving again.
Yeah.
And at that point, the red line starts growing to say, hey, you really need to start moving again. When I've got a full red line, I haven't moved for 2 hours. So you can
Oh,
tell
okay.
by looking at that. I got here at 6 o'clock.
We need to have a workout halfway through the show.
It's true. Sweating to category 5. There's a new show for you. But it counts my steps. So
Okay.
today I'm at 4,300 and
Is that just today?
yes, just
Okay.
today 4,374 steps.
All right, if I turn it like this, folks, it might be a little easier for you to. There you go.
there you go. My calorie goals for the day. That's how many kilometers I've walked. Calories I've burnt.
Nice.
The time.
So,
and then the date.
How does a fitness tracker like this actually help you to lose weight? Because I think like a pedometer that tells me how many steps I've taken, and I see you sitting there with your watch and you're expressive with your hands. Like, how accurate is it? Does it think you're running right now when you go
Nope,
like
not
this?
at all.
Okay.
I tried a few other watches before I got this one, and that's what happened. I mean,
Yeah.
I'd wear it in the shower. I'm washing my hair. I get out of the shower, and I'm like, whoa, 50 steps. I haven't moved. So
I was marching on the spot while I was
that's right.
combing my hair. I don't know what people do with hair.
Yeah.
What do you do?
That's right.
Do you comb your hair in the
We
shower?
don't freeze our heads in the winter. But no, like I mean, I've done that, and it doesn't move. So whatever the technology is for picking up the step vibrations is great. I love it. But what I like about this watch is that it does sync up to the phone. So I mean, just like any other apps, you've got the historical information. Okay. But what's nice about this in particular is that Garmin has worked with Under Armour to create MyFitnessPal, which is a subsequent app that does food calculations as far as calories and nutritional content. And so between the watch and calorie content, I'm covered.
This starts to make sense to me because of something that I actually learned on Stuff You Should Know.
Okay.
When Josh and Chuck were talking about, I don't know how they got into dietary stuff, but one of the things that Josh said that I think he said to me was, if you sit at your desk all day, which I do, you can't eat something that is going to give you a bunch of energy.
Correct.
Because you're sitting at your desk all day.
Yes.
So all that energy turns into fat.
Yes.
So that's kind of what you're saying, but it's a digital. This is telling me, okay, you gotta move if you're gonna eat that.
Right. So
okay, let's get a look at that.
Yeah, we'll do.
So this is which app is this? Is this the one that comes with
this? Yeah, this is the this is the Garmin app. So I'm just gonna do a quick sync. So I'm holding down the button. I got sync on there, and you'll see in a second it's gonna start loading the information. There, VivoFit connected. And this, takes just a few seconds, and the information will pop up. Okay. So there you go, syncing with VivoFit. So
it says it down at the bottom.
Yeah, right. Down at the bottom. And so I don't think I've synced in about 2 days. The watch will allow up to 7 days.
Yeah.
And so depending on how much information is there, it will take. So there you go, 4413 steps. It breaks down my average based on the days. So on average, I walk 6630 steps. That's my goal. My sleep timer, my active calories, how many calories remaining for the day, that kind of stuff.
All right.
But when it syncs up with the Under Armour app, MyFitnessPal.
So that app talks to this other app?
Yes, it talks back and forth. So when I go into my calories for the day, anytime I eat something, it's got the information.
Is this like Weight Watchers? Do I got to count calories now?
No. It does it all for you. So like I have a protein shake that I make every day, and so I put it in. But say I wanted to add something for lunch.
Okay.
Here's what I like. I can type in the food specifically. You name it, it's in here. Unless it's like a local restaurant, like that wouldn't have that information. But all the major chains, it's all in here. Like on my way over, I picked up a barbecue chicken salad from Wendy's. Type that in. Yeah,
really?
Yeah, and it's in here.
Wow.
So like there you go.
Oh yeah,
barbecue ranch chicken salad, 580 calories. Really? It's got
you guys see this?
All the nutritional information.
See if I can get a good focus here for you. So this is you popped at Wendy's and it told you what it. Yeah. Holy cow!
Like
that's nutty.
I've got it all.
Wow.
All the nutritional information, and here's the best part there's a barcode scanner.
Oh.
So if I make something at home, like say I'm making a sandwich, I pull out the bread bag, and I just scan the code, and it's got all the nutritional information. So if I'm making,
that's way more sophisticated than I was expecting.
I love it, absolutely love it, and this has revolutionized everything about my fitness plan, my getting healthy. January 7th, I got this watch, but I've been working on this since January 7th.
You're talking you've had this for 19 days. No, 29 days.
26 days I've been working on this.
25 days.
25, whatever the day is. Sometime this month.
I don't know what today is. I'm so confused.
Yeah.
I think I said the wrong.
I'm down 20 pounds.
20 pounds in under a month?
20 pounds in under a month. I don't feel sick. It's done with portion control, watching my calories.
I am not a doctor. I don't even know if 20 pounds a month is healthy.
I've always been told 10 pounds a month is about the max you should lose. But I'm like, all I'm doing is watching my calories and just checking my steps. And this is designed, I put in my weight loss goal, which is 190 pounds, and I give it a year.
So you're not doing anything unsafe. You're not like
doing
starving
anything
yourself
unsafe.
or anything.
I'm just watching my calories. And most days I'm coming in about 200 calories lower because I'm going, all right, well, maybe something was slightly off in the calculation. I give myself some buffer room.
Yeah.
I'm down 20 pounds in
That's
less
awesome.
than a month. Loving it.
So what's this one called? Garmin?
It's from Garmin. It's called the VivoFit.
GARMIN.
The GPS for your car.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
So get onto Amazon. I'm sure that they must carry them there. And,
Yes, they do.
We showed you earlier on the show, but you can actually use our affiliate link, and that would be a way to support Category 5 TV. Pretty cool.
And lose weight.
And lose weight at the same time. I think if you can spend $50, $100 on something that's going to help you lose weight and you really want to or need to for health reasons, it's so much cheaper than going to the gym or something.
Yeah.
When really that's what it takes to manage it. Because people do get a gym membership, they'll work out some, and then they'll get it back. They'll get the weight back because you're not changing the way that you're eating, or whatever it is.
And this changes the way that I've thought about food. Because I look at it now, and same as you. You can have KFC. I can have whatever I want, but just based on the calories and nutritional information, it could say, hey, if you want to lose weight, you need less sodium for the day.
Sure. Yeah.
And it's great. I can walk into any restaurant now and be like, that looks good. Let me pull it up on the app. Yeah, I got the calories for it.
Perfect.
I'm good to go.
Love it.
So
check it out, folks. That sounds cool. I'm if I get to the point where I stop losing based on what I'm doing, then I think that's the next step for me. Will be okay. Now let's get something that's going to help me to really push it. Step counter though is hard for me because I don't step a lot.
That's totally fair.
Yeah.
But it's adaptive. I mean, if you say, hey, I want to lose this much, it will help you. It'll adjust your steps, and even just the calories alone will adjust that and say, hey, you want to lose that much? This is what you need to eat for calories.
Great. Well, thanks, Jeff.
Yeah.
That's cool. And congrats. 20
Thank
pounds.
you.
That's great.
Yeah. I feel great.
This is Category 5 Technology TV, and we are going to really quickly get into it because I know we're right at the end of the show as far as time goes. But Jeff, I promised you we were going to make your kid fly.
Oh, yeah.
So what we're going to do, we've got a picture here. Now, this is week 10 of our GIMP tips tutorials. So we are doing 20 weeks of GIMP tips. And through the course of this series, you're learning all these kinds of cool ways to use the GNU image manipulation program. It's a free alternative to Adobe Photoshop. You can get it at gimp.org, and it runs on Linux, Mac, and Windows. So with this photo that Jeff gave me today, let's get a look. There we go. Okay, so here I am in the GIMP. So we've got Jeff laying there on his back.
20 pounds heavier.
Yeah, look at you. And then you're holding up your kid?
Yep.
All right, so how would we get rid of Jeff? Well, you go, okay, you highlight, and somebody says, oh, can you just delete him? Well, that's what happens if you do that. We learned how to remove objects from photos, but we never got quite as sophisticated as removing a person. It's not an eraser. It's called a clone stamp or a clone tool. And what you do with the clone tool is so get your tool. I'm going to just make my toolbox a little bit bigger here. What it allows you to do is select an area to sample from. So what we're going to copy from, I want some grass, and then we're going to paint over top of Jeff, and it's going to give us a very realistic effect. So hold in your left control key and click somewhere on the grass. Now notice what I'm avoiding is these flowers there. I just want to be a little to the right of the grass. And now when I click there, and now I let go of the control, and then I can click and drag, and I can paint over top of Jeff's arms. And you see how the one on the left moves at the same time? And because it's sampling, I get a very realistic paint over top of Jeff's arm, so that it doesn't look like I've deleted an arm. It looks like there's grass there. So let's do the same thing over the rest of you. So we need to move our selection here for the clone stamp. And I'm going to start on your head, and I'm going to go kind of up and down and up and down and up and down like this, because I want it to be a realistic effect. And you'll get the sense for why that is. Now notice what's happening here. Oh, I'm starting to get your face here. Because where the clone stamp is sampling from is where your face used to be. Right. So what I need to do is let go of my click and click again so that it resets the position of the clone stamp tool. There we go. And I'm getting rid of your shadow as well. We're going to get rid of some of those pounds right there, Jeff.
Wow, I lost so much weight there.
Yep, there you go. Just leave your legs. There you go. All right, and keep painting, keep painting, keep painting. Oh, there's his head. Let's keep painting, keep painting, keep painting. There we go. All right, so now that I've done that, look at how realistic that is, but we do have some looping. See those leaves that go 1, 2, 3, 4? We want to get rid of those so that we don't have this loop effect going. So I'm just going to kind of click around, grab some other samples, and replace that thing that is obviously looped. So you do that a couple times just to make sure that you don't have any of these kind of anomalies that look like they're fake. We want to get rid of the shadow here that is part of Jeff. And now there's what we've got. So your kid is literally just hovering in midair. So we've got your hands.
Yes.
Is the next thing. So you notice how big my tool is here, my clone stamp?
Yes.
I need to make that a lot smaller. So over here with my tool options, I'm going to drag that size and make it to something more reasonable like that. I first want to get this portion. There we go. Then I want to get his shirt, which has this this cool camo pattern, and sample that so that we can replicate the pattern. Okay, and grab it from all the you want to find the spots that are going to give you a good sample. See how I'm just selecting different areas, and I'm not letting it touch his jeans, because if I do, then I'm going to start getting jean. See that?
Yeah.
So instead, we're going to make sure that we watch kind of both of those parts of the tool. There we go. So we end up with a fairly, you probably would be hard-pressed to tell that that is not actually his shirt.
That's right.
So now he's actually hovering in midair. So the final kind of step to this, well, first of all, we might want to add a little bit of a motion blur to his body. So I can just kind of do a rough marquee around him there and copy that to my clipboard and paste. And let's see what that actually looks like. So now, getting rid of the background, I've just got his body there all by itself. Use the eraser tool and just kind of go around the edge of that to get rid of some of that grass. Really rough, because all we're doing is just adding a bit of a motion blur, so it looks like, hey, he's actually flying. That's cool. Okay, so we don't have to be very accurate with that. And then I've got this layer on top that it's just his legs and torso. So if I right-click and go layer to image size. Do you remember why we do that?
No.
If I create a motion blur now, what's going to happen is it's going to end at that yellow rectangle.
Okay.
Okay, so it's going to, all of a sudden, the motion blur stops right here.
Right.
It's not going to make any sense. Right click and then layer to image size. Makes that layer fill the entire canvas so it can stretch out even further. So now right-click and go Filters. Notice which layer is highlighted. It's the torso. And we're going to go Blur, Motion Blur. And then you can see your preview. And I want it to be a horizontal motion blur. Like, there we go. That looks pretty good. The angle is 10%. I want it to be probably 0 in this case, unless he's going up. And just add a bit of a blur so that it looks like he's flying pretty fast.
Right.
There you go. Okay, so face is in focus, body is blurred because I kind of cropped out most of the stuff, the grass. You're not getting a blur around the grass, although you do see one point right there.
The tree's missing.
Which I can just go over with the eraser tool to correct that, because this layer is highlighted.
Right.
Right, so that's what that looks like. Okay. Fifth and final step. Let's head on over to Google. I love using their image search for just finding something. Let's find a cape. So let's throw. What do you say we throw a cape on him?
Sure.
Can we find one? I'm just going to switch cameras, because with Google Images, sometimes you don't know what you're going to come up with. Sometimes it's not quite appropriate for G-rated TV.
That's totally fair.
Let's see if I can find one that is that right angle. It's got to be.
Oh, there's
kind
that
of
green one. You could turn it.
Yeah, okay. You want to use now that's a cartoon
that's true.
cape.
Good point.
Right? So that's the one that Jeff is pointing at. Yeah, that's a good idea. We could turn it. So I don't have to look at it being specifically, horizontal. We could move it. So let's see if I can find one that will work. And sure, it can be vertical.
There's good.
Want to use that?
Sure.
All right. There we go. There's a kid that's actually just standing with a cape in the wind. So let's view that image. Let's go copy image URL and open that with File, Open Location, paste in, and that's going to open it directly from the server without me having to get it from the hard drive, like having to download it. Now I'm going to highlight using this great marquee tool, the lasso, just around their neck and around their arms, and grab that cape.
Yep.
And notice I'm going way outside here. It doesn't matter. Okay? So now copy that and paste it into my image. Actually looks like about the right scale, so that's pretty fantastic. Right-click, layer, to new layer. Okay, so now I've got this layer that is this cape with this blue. So I can use the magic wand tool to now select the blue areas. Okay, and then I can hit Control X to cut that out.
Right.
All right. Alternatively, there are many, many ways to do this in GIMP, and sometimes, and now I've got the advantage that this is a pretty blue sky. Sometimes you can go colors, color to alpha, and now choose your color and select your color as the blue. So this is kind of a neat way to remove backgrounds from photos and things like that. Select the blue, and that's another way to now remove all of the blue from the image.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay? That's really cool. Now let's make sure that the rotation on this cape is correct. So I've selected the rotate tool, and then click on the cape, and then I can just drag, just like that. Okay? Bring that up with the move tool, and I can just kind of put it like that. Now what we want to do is just shape it so that it works better with this image. I'm going to grab some of this cape here. I'm going to cut. It's quite a large cape, so I'm going to kind of cut that off. See that?
Yep.
Okay. And then get in with the eraser tool. First of all, I want to deselect so that I'm working on the actual image. Get in with the eraser tool, remove the other kid from that, because they're still there just a little bit, and make it look like this is actually around your son's neck a little bit, okay? And then just clean up the edges. There we go. And you see that it doesn't quite go around his neck, so what we're going to do is just simply use that clone stamp tool again and select part of that cape and then paint it on.
Boom.
There we go. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. And now, and we've got a little bit of strangeness going on up in the sky with the cape, which I can just cut out.
Yep.
And there we go. So now we've got from a photo of you with your son on your legs to him flying through the park like a teeny drone.
So I guess the moral of the story is for his birthday, don't buy him kryptonite.
Watch out. So that is the GNU image manipulation program. You can see how quickly you can do some really amazing effects, and that is absolutely free software. So get it at GIMP.org. This has been another episode of Category 5 Technology TV. Thanks so much for being here.
We didn't talk about boxing your pie. Maybe next week.
Oh, yeah.
So much good stuff.
How do you fill an hour? I'll tell you how you fill an hour.
Bonus episode.
I hope you had fun. And yes, no, I didn't brick the pie, but one of the things that we want to do, one of the things that happened last week or 2 weeks ago, I had installed MariaDB, would have went fantastically well, but it actually ran out of space on the SD card. The problem is that out of the box, Raspbian creates the partition as an itty-bitty, like 2 gigabyte partition.
Right.
So what we want to do is that we're going to recreate that file system. We're going to first extend the file system to a much larger 16 gig card. Why are we not using all the space?
Right.
And then we can redeploy. I think we're going to start over and off the air because during when it got full, it also broke the apt lists and DPKG and so things that are really difficult to repair. So we're just going to go back and kind of take it from the top, but we're going to show you how to first resize that partition. That's what happened.
Cool.
Yeah. All right, folks. Jeff, always nice to have you here.
It's good to be here. It's good to work with you.
Again. Yeah, that is nice, eh?
It's good
being
times.
back in broadcasting.
I missed it.
We worked in radio together many, many years ago. That's how we know each other. So.
Yep. Back when I had hair and you didn't.
Wait a minute.
Nothing's changed.
I had hair back then. That's how long ago it was.
Did you?
I did.
Wow.
Just
it's
and
so
I was
long ago, I don't
120
remember.
pounds.
I wish I was 100. I think I was under 200 then.
Yeah.
And then life took
I was
over.
under 200. I was 120 pounds.
But I will be under 200 again.
We'll hold you to that.
All right.
See you, folks. Have
Bye.
a great week. Good night.
We hope you enjoyed the show. Category 5 TV broadcasts live from Barrie, Ontario, Canada every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. If you're watching this on demand or through cable TV, check out the local show times in your area at category5.tv and find out when you can watch live and interact in the community chat room. Category 5 is a production of Prodigy Digital Solutions and is licensed under Creative Commons Attribution 2.5 Canada. We'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in.